Alright, hello everyone. My name is Eleazar Pringle, and I am an environment artist. I also dabble in designing 3D props, and today I'll be doing a showcase of a few of the things I'm including in my portfolio and my process in creating them. So this here is my village level. I will preface this by saying that I did not create these individual assets. This was the final project for my level design class. The objective was to show off our level design skills by kit bashing and creating a level of our own. So these models and assets were taken from the Unreal Marketplace, and I used each of these assets to create a fantasy level. I was going for a sleepy stylized village, and I have a full showcase on my YouTube channel where the mechanics of the level and the full extent of the level is showcased. The process of creating this was sourcing and importing all my assets and then doing a general gray box of the level to get an idea how everything would look, and then creating the mechanics for the level. Some mechanics that I added were a floating mechanic, so you can jump in the air, and from there you would press the right mouse button, and they would bring out a glider, which you would use to just glide around the level. Um, so finally, the fun part was the set dressing. So just putting everything into place and creating that cohesive, stylized village. Yeah. Next up, here we see some stylized grass that I created from scratch. You'll be seeing a theme. I really like the stylized aesthetic. That's something that I strive for in each one of my projects. So I created this from scratch. I started by modeling a blade of grass in Maya and then using that one blade to make a clump. From there, I UV'd each blade and um, imported them into Unreal. This grass utilizes runtime virtual textures, so there's a material applied that allows it to sample the terrain and adjust its color, so it gives some nice variation to the scene. Really happy with how it came out. Next up on my portfolio is some stylized trees. This right here was a lot of fun to make. I'm quite proud of how it came out. Um, because I was using a lot of techniques that I wasn't familiar with. The workflow started with creating the tree trunk model in Blender. After that, the mesh was exported into ZBrush, where I sculpted in some details. This was my first time using ZBrush, so there was a slight learning curve, but it came out well. From there, that high poly mesh was taken out of ZBrush into Substance Painter, where we baked the high poly details onto the low poly mesh so that we'd have the optimization in Unreal Engine, and then the textures and the model was put into Unreal Engine, and then in Illustrator I created some opacity maps for the leaves and added those into Unreal as well. From there, I created a material for the leaves and the trunk. These materials allow you to completely customize the look of the tree, from the color, the gradients, the glow around the edges, and much more. Yeah, so this was a lot of fun. Oh yeah, and then here we have some palm trees I created a while back. Um, yeah, this one was quite simple. This was all done in Maya. Um, yeah, this was modeled in Maya, and the texturing was done with 2D textures that were prepared in Photoshop, and it was all added into Maya and rendered in Maya. Finally, we have here this boat that I created to show off some of that prop work I mentioned earlier. The process started by importing image plane, sorry, of the boat, um, which was an assortment of blueprints from each side, and then the model was created around that. From there, it was taken into Substance Painter where the textures were added, and yeah, that's how we came to the final piece. And that's it for now. Thank you so much for watching and for listening. Take care.